Good news, ikaw ay accredited na ng DENR EMB Regional Office bilang Pollution Control Officer ng inyong kumpanya. Ano na ngayon ang sunod na gagawin? Sabi dito sa DAO 2014-02, yan. Ano ba itong DAO 2014-02? Entitled Revised Guidelines for PCO Accreditation. Sabi dito, especially yung nakasulat dito sa Section 12. Babasa tayo. Section 12, reporting. All accredited PCOs shall submit SMR to the EMB Regional Office on a quarterly basis. So isang gampanin ng isang PCO, lalo accredited PCO, ay ang pagbibigay ng information sa EMB regional offices ng kanilang mga operation, ng kanilang mga compliance. May mga pagkakataon yung information includes inventory ng waste at saka yung mga result ng monitoring, kaya siya self-monitoring report, like monitoring ng wastewater discharge, monitoring ng emissions. So kapag ikaw ay isa ng accredited PCO, you have no choice na kasi policy na ito ng DNR Section 12. At maliban sa isang policy ito, kung pupunta tayo sa Section 12, Section 10, ano ba ang nakalagay sa Section 10 ng DAO 2014-02? Ito naman ang duties and responsibilities of accredited PCO. Sabi dito, the accredited PCO shall, required talaga. Basahin naman natin yung nasa number 13. So halos magkapatid ng mga statement. Number 13, I read and I quote, promptly submit CMRs, yan po yung Compliance Monitoring Report, and SMR, Self-Monitoring Report, duly accomplished and signed by the PCOs, approved and certified correct by the managing head, and notarized. So yan yung malinaw na isang policy ng DNR sa lahat ng mga accredited PCO na mag-submit ng report at ibinigay na duty and responsibility ng regional director ng EMB Regional Office sa mga accredited PCO. Kung babasahin natin yung nakasulat dito sa Section 8 din, bababa tayo ng konti. Sabi dito sa Section 8, the regional director shall, in the same approach, shall issue certificate of accreditation containing, among others, the responsibilities and accountabilities of the PCO and the managing head of establishment. So, biruin mo, may responsibility, may accountability. Yan. So, yung responsibility na pinagkakatiwala ng regional director sa isang accredited PCO, accountable tayo dyan kung titingnan dahil itong mga report na to ay mga condition ng mga permit. So kapag ka magbubukas ka ng isang permit mo na nakuha sa DNR-EMB, halimbawa, as shown on the screen, ang isang discharge permit na itong discharge permit. Ito yung legal authorization granted by DNR EMB to owners and operators of facilities to discharge wastewater. It specifies the quantity and quality of the water being discharged back to the environment. So in short, meron yang condition like dito sa mga makikita mo sa mga condition, may mga standard values ng mga parameter being monitored. So, usapang quality. So, standard or limit. Hindi ka pwedeng lumalagpas. Paano malalaman yon ng DNR-EMB na hindi ka lumalagpas sa standard na sinet nila? Sabi dito sa condition number 3, that the permit holder shall conduct quarterly effluent monitoring with the above parameters. O, biruin mo, hindi ka na pinahirapan kung ano monitor mo eh. Naka-specify na rin yan sa iyong discharge permit. No? And sabi dito, and shall be included in the quarterly submission of self-monitoring report. So, implied ito na sa pagmumonitor mo ng mga quality ng tubig, yung result ng monitoring i-include mo sa self-monitoring report quarterly at may nakalagay dito first, second, third, fourth quarter. At sabi dito sa baba, non-compliance with the above conditions, a corresponding penalty in the amount of not less than 10,000 but not more than 200,000 per violation shall be imposed. Approve itong permit na to ng regional director. So, bilang PCO, isang malaking gampanin ang pagiging accredited PCO dahil magsasubmit ka ng report na nakasulat dito sa Section 12. Ang ating legal basis ng submission of self-monitoring report ay itong Section 12 ng DAW 2014-02. Although marami pa tayong mga references na nagsasabing you need to submit self-monitoring report sa EMB Regional Office. Ngayon, may mga situation na yung accredited PCO nagre-resign. Kaya nga may provision dito sa Section 9, new PCO in case of resignation or termination. Sino itong bagong PCO? So literally, may nag-resign o na-terminate yung kanyang services as PCO. Pinalitan siya ng bagong PCO. So literal yon. Pero minsan, hindi naman madaling magkaroon ng bagong PCO or accredited PCO. Kung natapat ng submission ng report, sino ngayon ang tinutukoy na new PCO? I will read section 9 dito sa second paragraph. The managing head shall immediately assume the responsibilities as interim PCO until such time that a new PCO shall have been accredited. So, napapansin nyo, yung managing head, hindi naman nawawala yon kasi siya naman talaga ang nagre-represent ng company. Either the managing head is the immediate supervisor of the PCO na pwede mag-resign, pero meron pang next higher immediate supervisor. Ito yung pinakamatataas na talaga. Sabi nga sa Section 4, by definition, managing head, the highest executive officer of the establishment. May tataas pa ba sa presidente? May tataas pa ba sa local chief executive? O maaaring madedelegate yung pagiging managing head kasi marami na silang equally important duty. Pero nandun talaga sila. Sila pa din yon. Sila pa rin yung kahit na-delegate na nila yung pagiging managing head, sila pa din yung pinakamataas dyan. Di naman nawala yun. Na-delegate lang yung task ng managing head. Now, so doon sa section 9 na binabasa natin, ang managing head ang magiging PCO muna kapag nag-resign yung PCO accredited. At ayun na, ang gusto nating sambitin na the PCO who is also the managing head, lalong malaking responsibility ito kasi ikaw na yung nagpe-perform ng duties and responsibilities as specified in Section 10. So yun, sabi nga dito sa Section 12, for establishments with interim PCO, the managing head shall submit the required reports. Wala kang choice. Kaya kung meron kang self-monitoring report, ka ang pipirma doon bilang PCO, interim PCO. Sa may mga pagkakataon na ang ibang kumpanya ay ISO 14001 certified. Sabi dito, I read and I quote, ISO 14001 certified companies may opt to apply for a semi-annual report submission of SMR, subject to the approval of the EMB Central Office. So, yun. Um, Malaking incentive yan dahil hindi ka laging nagmamadali sa pag-submit. Although, isipin mo sa isang quarter or 3 buwan, isang beses lang naman, may nalilate pa dyan eh. Eh kung semi-annual na ang reporting mo, eh di lalong kaya. Ano kaya? Sabi dito sa Section 10, Item number 13, promptly submit CMR and SMR. So, dear PCOs, dear managing heads, pagdating sa submission ng report, hindi ito option. Ito ay mandate, nakalagay doon sa Section 12. At isa pa, dapat before the date of submission na isubmit mo na. Or on the date of submission. Kung sinasabing April 15, July 15, October 15, January 15 ang submission, okay lang man yun kung time, on that day. Pero kung susapang promptly, mas maganda yung before the time, before the day of submission. Alam mo naman ang mga Pilipino, kung kailan last day of submission, saka doon nagsasubmit. Kaya submission natin ay online, medyo bumabagal na ang system sa submission ng self-monitoring report kasi nagsasabay-sabay na lahat. So remember, meron kang 15 days to submit report at the end of the quarter. That is day 1 to day 15. So halimbawa, October, November, December, magsasubmit ka sa January. Mula yan January 1 to 15. Kaya ang hirap pagka hindi mo sinunod yung promptly submit, lagi ka doon sa A15, eh bigla pang halimbawa, worst scenario, nagkaroon ng glitch or nawalan ng internet connection, eh di hindi mo na-submit on time. So, okay? Now, sa panghuli, sabi dito, the PCO and the managing head shall be held jointly and severally liable for any violation of PD 1586. Yan po yung nagre-require ng ECC sa mga project proponent. So pag may ECC ka na, part ng condition required ang SMR submission. So pag hindi mo na-submit yung SMR, you are violating PD 1586 dahil may ECC ka. Number 2, RA 6969. Ito yung registration as a hazardous waste generator. Pagka registered ka na sa EMB bilang waste generator, gusto naman malaman ano ba ang type ng waste na nage-generate mo, ano ang volume. So saan mo ilalagay yon? Sa self-monitoring report. So if you do not submit self-monitoring report, you are violating RA 6969. Sa RA 8749, yung Philippine Clean Air Act, kapag meron ka mga fuel burning equipment, non-fuel burning equipment, especially for fuel burning equipment, information like ano yung equipment na contributing to air pollution o yung source of air pollution, ano ang fuel na binoburn, ilang hours ang operation ng equipment sa loob ng 3 buwan, at gaano karami yung na-consume na fuel. So ilalagay mo yan sa self-monitoring report. And kung hindi mo ma-submit yung information na yon on that period, on that quarter, you are violating the condition of the permit to operate. So eventually, you are violating RA 8749. Ganon din sa RA 9003, yung inventory ng solid waste ay kailangan inire-report through SMR. At panghuli, RA 9275, pagdating sa quantity and quality ng wastewater natin na dinidischarge. Eh sir, di naman kami nagdi-discharge ng aming tubig, nandun lang sa septic tank. Nandoon lang sa aming mga vessels. Closed system. Ganon din yon. You need to report those wastewater generation. At na nakalagay nga lang sa ating mga system na hindi natin dinidischarge in a self-monitoring report. So all the more doon sa mga may nag-generate na wastewater and then dinidischarge back to the environment. Hindi yan light matter na nagtatapon ka ng maduming tubig sa water body. So if you are not submitting SMR, you are violating the condition of the permit granted to you. So definitely you are violating RA 9275. So dito, the PCO and the managing head shall be held jointly and civilly liable for any violation of five major environmental laws, their respective IRRs, and other pertinent rules and regulations committed by the establishment. So do not forget to comply with reporting requirement, especially kung ikaw ay isang accredited PCO na. Ano? Ito ay self-monitoring report. Hindi pa natin napag-uusapan what if incident na yung nangyayari, yung incident na ang i-report mo. O iba pa yon, no? Like sa mga ibang kumpanya na pag may fatality, nagre-report sa DOLE. Eh sa atin naman kapag ka may environmental incident, nagre-report din sa DNR. So ito, SMR pa lang ang pinapagawa sa atin, di pa natin napag-uusapan yung SMR. Sa mga susunod sigurong araw. Thank you very much and I hope you have learned something about reporting. Uh, let's do our duty and responsibility. Doable ang pag sa submit ng report, like number one, for the renewal of our permit. Number two, for the renewal of our accreditation. 3 years after na ma-accredit kayo, magre-renew, kailangan yung mga proof ng submission. And panghuli, yung information na nakaslagay sa self-monitoring report, nagagamit ng EMB yon for decision making and policy making. You cannot make a policy kung wala kang data. You cannot make any decision kung walang data. Lalong-lalo sa mga complain o gaano karami ang tubig na nadidispose mo sa environment. Kung wala kang self-monitoring report, di malaman dyan kung paano ang decision. Kaya let us submit self-monitoring report at gampanan natin yung ating trabaho bilang PCO. Thank you very much for time listening. If you have question, you can type it below, and thank you very much, and God bless us all.